On Saturday of January 6, 2024, we found ourselves south of Shreveport alongside the CPKC main line. We had a clear schedule all day, so we decided to dedicate the day to the Beaumont subdivision. It would be an action-packed day as we would quickly find our first train of the day, a northbound manifest. It was certainly a good start to the day due to the interesting consists that included a KCS SD70 Mac, a Canadian Pacific SD60, and a Jeep. We got a lot more action in store for you in this video, so be sure to stick around. But we're also going to have some history of the passenger train that inspired the title of this video. So sit back and enjoy CPKC's Beaumont subdivision, straight as the crow flies. In Frierson, we leapfrog ahead of our northbound. This batch is setting up a meet between a southbound and a pair of northbounds, including the one we just filmed. It's not long before the headlights of our southbound pierce through the thick mist. This is M274, bound for Mexico. Originating out of Jackson, Mississippi, a pair of KCS Southern Bells are leading the charge south in the form of SD70 ACE number 4165 and Tier 4 GEVO number 5005. The M274 will halt to a stop in the siding, and the clear for our two northbounds is given to approach Shreveport. I believe this train was M281, another Mexican manifest with a final destination of Shreveport. The CPSD60 in the consist came from Corpus Christi, Texas, and I assume it's heading to Shreveport for routine inspection. The second northbound is a tanker train, 0577. It's hauling empty tank cars from Port Arthur, Texas, and will go all the way up into Alberta, Canada. A pair of SD70 ACEs make up the locomotive consist, one up on the head end, and another bringing up the rear on DPU duty. M274 now has permission to crawl back onto the main line and highball it down to Converse, where it will once again get stuck in the hole. Here we see 4165 racing by just a few miles north of the siding there. South of Converse, in a little village called Noble, at milepost 614, we find the northbound that the 274 is waiting for. My guess is that this is M277, a daily manifest that runs from Beaumont, Texas to Shreveport. A stallion of the Norfolk Southern Fleet is on the point of a healthy mix of KCS and Canadian Pacific motors. In Fisher, we await for the M274, who now has the main line once again to roll by the old depot and caboose. Despite Fisher dragging its feet on taking down Mr. and Mrs. Claus, it still makes for a decent shot as the train negotiates the curve. I'm sure most of you are pretty familiar with the Southern Belle, the passenger service from Kansas City to New Orleans that brought the Kansas City Southern Railway into the Streamliner era. Its eye-catching paint scheme of red, yellow, and Brunswick green that could easily be seen as black made for a gorgeous-looking train. Marked by its high-speed service, it was truly the staple of the railroad. But before that, there was the Flying Crow. The Crow ran from Kansas City to Port Arthur on the very rails you've been seeing in this video. Instead of streamlined cars, more traditional heavyweight cars made up the passenger consist. While some of the E-unit diesels of the railroad would be assigned to the Crow before the introduction of the Southern Belle, The KCS H-Class 462 Pacific type were your most common leaders until the replacements thanks to the diesel era. Service began in 1928, and truly the passenger numbers were never too impressive. Unlike the Bell, the Crow acted more as a local, making stops along the route at just about every station. Despite never really making a large impact on the profits of KCS, service would last until the late 1960s. The railroad did in fact come up with a slogan for this service, and that slogan was, "Straight as the crow flies." While the trains no longer run, you can find several relics along the Beaumont subdivision and other lines of the railroad to remind you of what once was. Bringing it back into the modern era, once again we see M274 gliding over the Anacoco Bridge that spans over Vernon Lake. This bridge is rather new due to the fact that it replaced the old wooden bridge in early 2023. We would part ways with the 274 and wait in Leeville for some more action. There were several southbounds en route, one being this grain train heading for Mexico.
Must be slow down creeping.
Following the grain train is hotshot I-180, part of the new intermodal service that runs between Chicago and Mexico. We noticed the Vernon Parish police cruiser sitting in a very convenient spot, so we figured why not incorporate it into our shot. With the video coming to an end, we might as well end it on a bang. On our way home, we made a quick little pit stop in the little area of Fisher again to intercept Royal Canadian painted SD70 ACU number 7016 on yet another Mexico-bound train, G390. This paint scheme pays tribute to Canadian Pacific's vintage passenger scheme, and I can honestly say it has translated excellently onto a modern freight engine, much like the retro bells of the KCS. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like down below and be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Until the next time, my friends, I will be seeing you somewhere out there along the rails, and as always, thanks for watching.